truly blessed at the same time to have a leader like President Trump, who is a builder.
And the boycott was on. Former presidential candidate Julian Castro tweeting, Bob Unanue is praising a president who villainizes and maliciously attacks Latinos for political gain. Americans should think twice before buying their products. Goya way. Oh, look, it's the sound of me Googling how to make your own adobo, wrote Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, referring to one of Goya's products. A shame, model Chrissy Teigen wrote, don't care how good the beans taste, though. Bye-bye. Goya Foods' official Twitter account responded. Goya continues to work for the prosperity and education of our country. Goya gives 2 million pounds of food to food banks across the nation who are in desperate need of food for families impacted by COVID-19. Unanue says there's a double standard, pointing out no one cared when he answered the call from Michelle Obama to help with her Healthy Meals program.
I'm not apologizing for saying, and especially if you're called by the President of the United States, you're going to say, no, I'm sorry, I'm busy, no thank you. I didn't say that to the Obamas, and I didn't say that to President Trump.
And with that, we bring in Indianapolis talk radio host Tony Katz, also, as we can tell from his pantry behind him, a noted Goya Foods enthusiast. Learn something new about you, new every day, buddy.
I try, my friend. I try. You know, you got to have unbelievable respect for the CEO here, because the way you defeat cancel culture is by not bowing down. And to hear Julian Castro, the former HUD secretary, say, that we need to look another way. No. The only person we've ever looked another way on is you for an idea of president. We look to people like this CEO who are willing to stand up. He's part of the White House Hispanic Prosperity Initiative. He's trying to do good, and he's doing it. He shouldn't be canceled for that. And yes, it is a vicious attack, but it's far worse than just what cancel culture wants you to believe it is.
It's interesting, though, because Unanue is putting his money where his mouth is, literally. Not only was he going to give away $2 million worth of food to food pantries to help low-income folks who weren't able to put food on the table, but he's got a family business here. He's got 4,000 employees, all of whom are going to be affected if cancel, boycott, Goya becomes a real issue.
Yeah, and it's not. The Buy Goya campaign is going to be much, much larger. You take a look at people like Lin-Manuel Miranda, who are very upset with Goya. Then you take a look at people like Jorge Masvidal, the UFC fighter who's in a big fight tonight, saying we're not going to pay attention to the woke mob. And he links to a story from 2018 about how Goya gave 1 million pounds of food to people after Hurricane Maria. But the biggest story here, Leland, is about Representative Ocasio-Cortez. What her cancel culture is about control of thought. If you have a certain characteristic, like you're Hispanic, you have to think a certain way. That's her belief, and she goes after anybody who doesn't fall in line. Well, I dare her to go after Jorge Masvidal. That would be hilarious. But this CEO isn't falling in line, and that's what people respect. We might disagree on 100 other things politically, but he's allowed to stand up. He's allowed to have an opinion, and his business should never be destroyed for it.
Your intellectual honesty, I'm going to point out, is respectable in this matter, because we were talking just a couple of days ago. You called me about DeSean Jackson, who had some, shall we say, questionable and anti-Semitic things to say. We can leave any other adjectives aside. But now he has come out and apologized for it. Here's his apology. Take a listen.
I just want to, first off, extend an apology on the behalf of me and what I stand for, because, I'm one that's fair, and I never want to put any race down or any people down.
Far from a full-throated repudiation of Adolf Hitler or of Louis Farrakhan, but the Eagles say he has been penalized, in their words, wouldn't say what exactly the penalty was, for his posts, and feel as though they can put this behind them. Is this the way it is supposed to work when you say something that's offensive?
Well, I will tell you, as I did then, I do now, and I've written about it at TonyKatz.com, I oppose cancel culture. And if you actually oppose it, you have to actually oppose it. So I did not want DeSean Jackson to be fired. I wanted to notice why so many people were silent, why anti-Semitism was somehow this acceptable. The oldest hatred is still the acceptable hatred. And check out all the people, whether it's Stephen Jackson, whether it was Shannon Sharp, who are okay with Louis Farrakhan. Louis Farrakhan's a bigot. Louis Farrakhan's an anti-Semite. He hates hates white people. He hates gay people. He hates Jews. These are the facts. And the people who are willing to support him or rally around him, including people who won't condemn him, like Indianapolis Congressman Andre Carson, they need to be repudiated as well. You don't get fired from your job for saying something, no matter how ugly, very often
quick, Tony,
it is. But we should note it, and we should talk about it.
Let's real quickly compare and contrast, though, in terms of Drew Brees and DeSean Jackson.
Yeah. So Drew Brees was absolutely allowed to have an opinion. That other people had an opinion and said, listen, you're taking the knee this way. Here's how we see it. That's conversation. That's good and valuable. Demanding that Drew Brees apologize, calling Drew Brees a terrible guy. He gave millions of dollars to the state of Louisiana to help with coronavirus. The guy has been an upstanding individual his entire life. A conversation is worthwhile. Telling somebody they're a racist and they're a bigot because they may see something a different way, that's what conversation is supposed to be about. Those people were definitely wrong to be so vicious towards Drew Brees. And when they stay silent towards DeSean Jackson, or when they stay silent on, I don't know, Hong Kong, it speaks volumes. I think we should be the people who speak very clearly.
And you speak very clearly just about every day on the radio. I've been honored to join you a couple of times. Check them out in Indianapolis on, I think it's 93.1, and if not, on the interwebs worldwide. Good to see you, Tony.
It's good to see you.